The flames ate the sky as the wreckage smoked in the distance, a crimson glow stretching across the barren plains of New Arizona. The air sizzled with heat and static, and a trail of broken metal led down from the heavens where the ship had fallen. It was not just any crash. It was a kind that made the earth itself shudder. Jax ran toward it with his heart hammering in his chest. He was a scavenger by trade, a survivor by necessity, and a fool by choice, they all said, but when the beacon lit up the sky, he knew he had to go. Something pulled at him, something old and deep, not fear, not greed, but a strange tug of fate. As he neared the burning wreck, he saw the flames dancing over twisted alloys and shattered glass. The ship was alien, no doubt, etched with glyphs that shimmered and shifted like they were alive. The hull was torn open, and from within came a low thrum like a heartbeat of a dying star. Then he heard a voice, not loud, not strong, but soft and barely. There, help, it whispered, please help. Without thinking, Jax dove through the fire, ignoring the searing heat, the metal that sliced his arm, the smoke that filled his lungs. He followed the sound, crawling over debris until he found her. She was crumpled near a broken console, her skin glowing faintly violet, her hair streaked with silver, and soot, her eyes half closed but locked on his with a silent plea. She was beautiful, not in the way humans understood beauty, but in a way that felt ancient, as if the stars had sculpted her with gravity and light. He did not ask her name. He did not question what she was or why she had fallen from the sky. He only reached out and lifted her into his arms, and as he did, the ship behind him groaned and shuddered and began to collapse inward with a roar. Jax ran. The wreck erupted behind him, a blast of light and sound that threw him forward, but he held her tight, shielding her body with his own until the world stopped burning. He awoke in his bunker hours later, the girl lying beside him on the makeshift bed, breathing shallow, but steady. The air was thick with ash and silence, and the wound on his arm throbbed, but he was alive, and so was she. For days she said nothing, only watched him with those luminous eyes as he brought water-patched wounds and tended the fire. Sometimes she traced symbols in the dust with her fingers, intricate patterns that shimmered briefly before fading. On the fourth day she spoke. You should not have saved me, she said, her voice like a breeze through glass. You do not know what you have done. Jax laughed softly and sat beside her, welcome to Earth Princess. He said sarcastically, not yet knowing how true his words were. She looked at him, then really looked, and something in her gaze shifted. You think I am just another alien, another strange face from beyond? He nodded. I mean no offense, but yeah, kind of crash-landed, glowing skin. Not speaking much, you fit the pattern. She closed her eyes and opened them slowly. My name is Aurelian, daughter of the House of Zereth, ruler of the 27th throne of the galactic spiral. I am heir to a crown that spans galaxies, and you have brought me to life when others would have let me burn. Jax blinked, not sure whether to laugh or bow or run. Instead, he said, well, Princess, you owe me dinner. She tilted her head, confused at the joke, and he smiled, realizing how human. It was to joke in the face of the impossible. But Aurelian did not smile. Her eyes turned to the sky. They will come, she said, soon, and they will not care that you saved me. They will see a human threat. He frowned. Who are they? The usurpers, she said, those who betrayed my house, those who shot me from the sky to end my line, and erase my blood from stars. Jax stood slowly and walked to the hatches, eyes scanning the dark horizon. If they're coming, let them come. I got a few tricks left. You cannot fight them, she said. They have fleets, planets, armies. And I have a shotgun, he replied, then paused and looked back at her. Why were you even here? She hesitated, then said, I was running not just from death, but from duty, from fate. I did not choose. I wanted to see Earth, to see what my ancestors saw before they turned away from this world. Jax sat beside her again. So you came to Earth for freedom and got shot down in flames? That's rough. She nodded. The stars are not kind. Days passed and the sky grew uneasy. Satellites failed, radios went silent, and Jax knew the storm was close. He taught Aurelian how to wear boots, how to carry gear, how to speak in slang, and cuss in 3 languages. She learned quickly, like her mind ran faster than time itself. One night, as the stars blinked in patterns only she understood, she turned to him and said, if they find me, you will die. Then let's make sure they don't, he said. The invasion came quietly, not with explosions, but with a hum, a ripple across the land that sent animals fleeing, and skies darkening. Ships appeared above cities, cloaked in light and shadow, and Aurelian's pursuers had come. Jax and Aurelian fled into the wastelands, dodging drones and pulses of energy, hiding in old mines and forgotten bunkers. Jax knew these lands like scars, and he used every trick, every trap to keep them alive. But they were not enough. One night, They were cornered a dozen armored figures, descending with weapons drawn and eyes like burning ice. "Give us the girl," one said, "and we will let you live." Jack stepped in front of her shotgun, raised heart steady. Then came her voice. No, she whispered him and stepped forward. She raised her hand, and light spilled from her skin, not fire, not heat, but memory ancient and powerful. The ground shook, and the air shimmered, and suddenly the attackers fell to their knees, not in pain, but in reverence. Aurelian spoke in a language Jax did not understand, and the light grew until it filled the sky, painting constellations with her birthright. She was no longer hiding, no longer running. She stood as a queen born of stars and silence and power. When the light faded, the enemies were gone, scattered by the weight of her name and the force of her will. Jack stared at her not with fear, but awe. "You really are a princess," he said, breathless. She turned to him and smiled. "For the first time, I was born to rule," she said, "but I choose to live, and now I choose you." He blinked. Wait, what? But she just laughed and walked past him into the dawn, her crown invisible, her heart newly hers, and Jack's followed, because somehow in the fire and the fight, they had become more than survivor, an alien more than savior and queen. They had become home.